Good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome to Evolution of Pro Wrestling. I am your host, Lewis, the Encyclopedia of Pro Wrestling.
And I'm Jay, the Whiz Kid of Pro Wrestling.
Hey, always a great introduction. I got it right this time. Last time you laughed at me. Welcome back, wrestling fans. We took a week off last week, but we're back as always, and we're back to give you some awesome wrestling talk. There's been a lot going on in professional wrestling before we get to our topic. AEW is red hot right now. Brian Danielson.
Brian Danielson.
There you go. CM Punk. Adam Cole. Holy
Supposedly
cow.
now there's rumors that...
What's going on, Russell? Welcome.
There's rumors that Bray Wyatt is trying to get in on the fun too.
Yeah.
WWE is in some trouble right now.
They're in some trouble. But listen,
I think AEW is the hot spot right now, though.
And then to make matters worse, Vince McMahon has officially taken over NXT.
Oh,
why?
Oh my God! This man needs to give up both WWE and NXT. Pass them down to Triple H.
Well, speaking of Triple H, Evolution of Pro Wrestling wants to share their thoughts and prayers for a quick and speedy recovery for Triple H. Triple H had a heart attack, apparently, and he needed emergency surgery, heart surgery. So we want to send our prayers out to him and hope he gets better. And we have our lovely wife and director, my wife, his stepmom, Yesenia. Welcome, honey. It's always a pleasure to have you on. She comes up with the greatest ideas, which we got one coming up soon as we go along.
Definitely.
So, but that pay-per-view, Kevin Owens too. Kevin Owens is a possibility. Him and Sami Zayn. It's a possibility. They might go.
If they go, man, WWE is in trouble.
WWE has to start building some good stars. You know, forget the Goldbergs. Forget freaking any legend. Just let's build some people.
I'm gonna be honest though, if I see The Fiend go to AEW, that's my new show. I'm gonna start watching AEW.
See, no, but they're not gonna put him as the Fiend though. They're probably gonna put him as something different.
I mean,
but they're gonna put him in the Dark Order.
I feel like they're gonna put him as the Fiend or something similar because I guess like for people that follow with social media, he was hinting a new mask. Mm-hmm. Mask was scary. Yeah. It wasn't like the Fiend mask. It was a scary and cool mask. So I really hope he goes to AEW or just joins a wrestling company because I want to see Bray Wyatt wrestle again.
No, absolutely. Now, the pay-per-view All Out was amazing.
Oh yeah.
In AEW, like it was, like the way they ended it couldn't be any better.
Right.
Like it was awesome. It was totally awesome. But you know what was awesome, Jaden? I remember an era that really caught the attention of wrestling fans. And that era was the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era to me was by far one of the best eras of all time, if not the best. Louis Cedeno, what's going on, brother? It's Louis Cedeno, owner and CEO of EGCW. Had an awesome event a couple of weeks ago, back in, I believe it was in August. And they're going red hot right now. They come with something with in October, Havoc. So we're gonna be promoting that as well for him.
Definitely.
But they're doing big things in EGCW in the center of Deltona. Check them out, EGCW.com. They are on Facebook. You can message Luis Cedeno. He can give you all the information, the tickets, ticket sales, merchandise, and all that stuff. It's a lot of stuff you want to get. They got great talent and a great promotion. To look into them. They're really great.
Definitely.
So the Attitude Era, Jaden, build up stars such as Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, the APA, the Dudley Boys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian. Damn, it's
Evolution. A whole lot of people.
It's tough. Triple A, it's tough. DX. You know what I mean? DX and Los Boricuas and all these things. The Nation of Domination.
That's where a lot of evolution started. This is when the Randy Orton evolution was born. The legendary Batista era. There was
Yeah,
a lot.
It was
of
a lot of stars that were born in that era. But what would have happened if the Attitude Era never existed? That's the question. Would there have been a Rock? Would there have been a Stone Cold, an Undertaker, a Heartbreak Kid, a Batista, a Randy Orton, Triple H, any of them? What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like
would there have been a Monday Night War with WCW? Would WCW have beaten WWE honestly, those 83 straight weeks?
I feel like the Monday Night Wars. I feel like that's what started it all. Excuse me, I just ate some pizza a little while ago.
We full.
Excuse me.
Come on, man.
I got the burps right now. Okay, go ahead and talk, Dad. I keep burping.
Jeez. Okay, so the Attitude Era pretty much signified many careers. It also signified one of the greatest rivalries in professional wrestling. Right. The Rock and Stone Cold. Like, and Vince McMahon alone with the Attitude Era was, oh my God.
I miss that era a lot.
Like that, between those two,
that's my favorite.
Holy shit! Like I that's all I wanted to see when I turned on Monday Night Raw.
I also like the rivalry that John Cena and Edge had when Lita was a part of that for the WWE.
That's a good point. We got a fan, David Biddle. He says the Attitude Era was destiny. ECW forced WWF to evolve. Yes, because WCW was kicking their asses. So they needed to bring some fresh stuff. They needed to get edgier. They needed to get better. And at first, USA Network was very, very opposed to DX and sucking it and all that stuff until the money started coming in. The ratings started going up. And that was it. Ching ching. That's when everything started happening. But like I said, what if there wasn't an Attitude Era?
Wrestling wouldn't have... I don't think wrestling would have...
Do you think there would have been an NWO?
Would have been nothing.
Do you think Hulk Hogan still would have been in the red and yellow? Tell me why.
I say that because without the Attitude Era, these wrestlers wouldn't have been born. Because you got to think about it this way. Hulk Hogan, he was that guy at the time. Randy Orton broke up with Evolution and became his own man, and he went on to headline against The Undertaker. Shawn Michaels went heel on Marty Jannetty and went into his own thing. You got to think about it like that. Without the Attitude Era, without that specific era, there would have been none of these wrestlers. Because this is where most of these wrestlers evolved.
So with the Attitude Era, you saw Stone Cold before Stone Cold became Stone Cold. Stone Cold was stunning Steve Austin in WCW.
Yes.
They had no interest of putting him in the main event. They didn't want anything to do with him. If the Attitude Era was not born, would Stone Cold ever had still been Stone Cold, or would he still have been the ringmaster?
He would have been the ringmaster. I don't feel like he could have been. I feel like WWE is what made him Stone Cold.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When he came to WWE, yes, the Attitude Era still wasn't born yet. They called him the ringmaster. It was terrible. They finally gave him leeway to create his character.
Exactly.
They're like, okay, you let me do that. And then at one point, his wife told him, I believe it was his wife. I'm not too sure if it was his wife or somebody else, that told him, drink a cup of coffee before it comes Stone Cold. And then that's when
it clicked.
It clicked. Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then the man raised hell all over professional wrestling.
This is basically the guy who saved WWE because of the Attitude Era.
But that's what I'm saying. If the Attitude Era never happened, would Ric Flair had been in WCW?
Okay, this is what I
would Hulk Hogan had turned heel at Bash at the Beach?
Honestly, though, this is what I personally feel. People could agree, disagree. People watching, Stone Cold is the Attitude Era. I say that because Stone Cold was basically the man that made the Attitude Era the way it is. Drinking all the beer, kicking Mr. McMahon's booty, fighting The Rock all the time, throwing the belt into the ocean, always messing with the chairman himself. Stone Cold was the guy for the Attitude Era, and he made it happen. That's when the Attitude Era went up.
The moment, let me tell you something. The Attitude Era began once Stone Cold stunned Vince McMahon.
Definitely.
When he stunned Vince McMahon and all hell broke loose, I was like, oh my God. That was it.
Right.
It's time. It's time to evolve. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I've never seen any boss get attacked like that. So I'm like, okay. We also see The Rock. The Rock is someone who came in, which he hated the name, Jaden, Rocky Maivia.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Maivia, which was a terrible name to put him off with when you first start. And then as you progress, you like you said, you got to do the Attitude Era. And it's something that we never expected to happen. You know? You see, we got an incoming text message from a fan.
Fans, I will be right back. I have to go attend to something. I will be right back.
I'll continue with the show, fans. So, with the Attitude Era, we have pretty much The Rock and Stone Cold. Neither one wanted to back down. But without ECW, there is no Attitude Era. Exactly. There is no Attitude Era without ECW, because ECW is what originated everything when it came to that. And when it came to ECW, ECW was pretty much the most extreme organization in professional wrestling. Taz was the first one to flip somebody off. A lot of people thought that it was Stone Cold that did it, but no, it was Taz that actually did that uncensored. James says, Austin winning King of the Ring, his promo was the start of the evolution. Exactly. It was the start of an era. And that's what happened. He evolved. The character evolved. But what's crazy is that if the Attitude Era would have never existed, I'm not sure Stone Cold would have been as big as he was. So I'm like, wow. Like, how not too many people knew how over Stone Cold was going to be. But once he got over, he was over for good. Same thing with guys like Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. You know, it's like, how did they evolve into what they did with the Dead Man? You know?
Alright, I'm back.
Oh, he's back. I'm back. He actually had some news from professional wrestling.
Yes, I did.
He texted to me.
I was looking at a few things from the Evolution
He was getting some information from a source we have.
I was.
And this source is coming out that Kevin Owens, even though they mentioned that he is probably going to sign with AEW.
The chances have increased
more.
He's been thinking
and
about
we also found out that the reason of Adam Cole's leaving is they wanted him to manage Keith Lee.
Yes.
Which was despicable.
That was just messed up.
Because they wanted to make Big E a heel. Which was good. But why do that to Adam Cole? Come on.
Right. That's
the man
up.
has talent, big talent.
Definitely talent.
But anyway, back to our thank you, Jada, for that information. I appreciate it. So yes, we will talk about the Attitude Era. We mentioned Stone Cold, we mentioned The Rock. What about The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels? Where do you think The Undertaker's career went from there? After the Attitude Era came, he became the Ministry of Darkness. He became this demonic man as The Undertaker.
The Dead Man. Shawn Michaels became the Showstopper, the Heartbreak Kid, Mr. WrestleMania.
He was definitely one of a kind when it came to the heel, because he didn't care who he offended. He did everything, every possible gesture you can do in professional wrestling. And it was getting ratings. But mind you, it was getting kids in trouble. But would that ever had happened if Shawn Michaels would have never turned heel? If he would have never went into the Attitude Era like that. If the Attitude Era never existed, you think Shawn Michaels would have been that good?
So like, if you're basically saying like, if he wouldn't have super kicked Marty Jannetty,
Do you think his career would have been the same?
No.
No.
But
And tell me why.
I feel like it wouldn't have been the same because I feel like me personally, I feel like Shawn Michaels is a better singles wrestler. So by doing that, they're making Shawn Michaels a heel. He's young, he was talented, and he was the star at that moment. Not exactly the top star, but he was a star. And to do that shocked everyone.
Well, he won the Intercontinental title pretty quick the moment he became a heel. You know,
I mean, but I feel like he deserved it though, because he was already.
See, but that's the thing though. That back then, Shawn Michaels was a real pain in the ass. You know, not too many people wanted to work with him, but the man was talented in the ring. But he was trouble.
Right.
He was trouble, but
I mean, but he was young though.
of course, we all do stupid things when we're young.
He was young,
but he was a big part in the Attitude Era.
Definitely,
like he revolutionized that era. With DX, like the things they did, oh my god! Like you can't.
I just kicked Stan. Calm down! Don't tell me to calm down. If you never watched that,
I remember that.
See, I just kicked Stan.
I remember that, and mind you,
oh my god!
Listen.
I was watching that a few days ago.
Listen, they weren't as fierce the second time. But they were more funnier.
They were funnier. But they could still get the job done in the ring.
Because Shawn Michaels was that he was a changed man.
He was.
You know, but that was funny.
That was hilarious.
And the crazy thing is, the one he kicked at Stan was Shawn Spears.
Yes, Shawn Spears. That was crazy.
Okay, we got a comment here, Jaden from Dave. He says, what WWE has always done better or full show presentation, WCW got stagnant. Plus a big mistake in hindsight when WCW announced Mankind won the title. People turned WCW off for that. Yes, that was a big mistake.
That was a big mistake.
And that was the turning point of the Attitude Era because that was it.
Definitely.
Fans were hooked. I was hooked. And you couldn't even hear the announcers when he won the title because the crowd went so crazy. Especially when Stone Cold got there.
Ooh,
whoa.
Boy.
Like they were hot. I still watch it to this day on YouTube. I watch the greatest pops of old school with Stone Cold.
I still remember that. The Jim Ross was going crazy. Stone Cold. Oh my goodness. I remember that.
Like it's I can still watch the Attitude Era.
I can still watch that
this
too.
Nonsense. You know, don't listen. The best thing going right now is the Bloodline, and I have to admit, even though Randy Orton is already past his world title shot stuff, he's challenging Bobby Lashley for the title. A feud is happening between those two. And mind you, I did a post about that. I said if that match happened, not too many people believed it. I did though.
I still want Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
You know what I'm confused about too, though? Not to get off topic real quick, but what I'm confused on, why did Brock Lesnar return?
I don't know. Don't want to know. But I guess he makes money because when he came back and sold it and with Roman Reigns, they brought money. The ratings went up quick.
Dang.
When he came back. So, yes, he has that power. But anyway, back to the topic.
Yes.
But also, you had the tag team, the APA. The Acolytes.
Okay.
Bradshaw and Ron Simmons. That tag team beat the holy hell out of everybody.
Ron Simmons.
But they were a protection agency, but they were great. Like, they've won a few titles when they win the ministry. You know, they beat the hell out of people.
I'm sorry, but can I just say Ron Simmons is a funny guy.
Of course
Ron
he is.
Damn! Yeah, that always makes me laugh. That was so funny, man. Always.
But they were good.
They were really good in the ring. They got the job done.
They were good partners. They enjoyed it. They had fun with it.
The Acolytes were really
and that was a big part in the Attitude Era. And listen, I'm forgetting a big name. I'm an important name in this Attitude Era. That if this person would have never came the way he did, if there was no Attitude Era, he would have never been Kane. Kane came in 1998. And had a massive feud with his brother, The Undertaker.
Yes.
And it was a hell of a match.
That was,
and he made a big part in the Attitude Era.
The feud between him and Kane.
Oh man,
that was amazing.
Amazing,
especially with, instead of Paul Bearer being with the Undertaker, he was with Kane. He was with the younger brother. Oh my god, I still remember when Kane ripped off the cell just to get to Undertaker. He ripped off the hinges of the Hell in a Cell just to get inside.
Oh man,
you know what power you gotta have to do that? Rip hinges off.
And he actually did it. He actually did it.
And then
himself.
he delivered I'm pretty sure he delivered a tombstone, and then he lit the Undertaker on fire in a casket.
Well, those were the days.
Those were the days.
Not to say it was cool to light somebody on fire in a casket.
But back then, though, I mean, it's not cool in reality. It was good TV. But exactly.
It was good TV. It was something that not nowadays people get offended by, because that's what this world is about.
But
everybody
they
gets
did
offended.
that sort of with Bray Wyatt, but
yeah, but it's not the same.
It's not.
You know, light them.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like
yes, they got criticized for it. They still got criticized for it because, everybody's so sensitive now these days.
I mean, honestly, though, I feel like that's the difference between AEW and WWE.
And AEW doesn't care.
They doesn't care.
They go full throttle. They curse. Want. They do chair shots.
They do whatever they want.
Whatever.
That's why people enjoy it, because they do that.
And listen, AEW is at the top of their game right now. I
might have to start watching AEW.
But I am not, under no circumstances, counting out WWE for a second.
Nah.
Because that's the same thing that happened with WCW, then poof, WWE came running.
They're gonna come running.
And they came running hard.
I'm telling you, Vince, it's gonna snap to Vince McMahon.
Well, Vince McMahon gotta go.
It's gonna snap.
I'm sorry.
It's gonna snap.
But unfortunately, Vince McMahon is gonna do that job until the last day on Earth.
Right.
To his last days on Earth. So it's gonna be.
It's gonna snap to Vince McMahon though. He's gonna realize. Watch,
yes.
WWE is gonna go up fast.
But Jaden, is there anybody else you can think of that signified the Attitude Era?
Edge. When Edge became a solo wrestler, don't get me wrong. Edge and Christian.
When he first went into the Brood with Gangrel and Christian,
that's
amazing. When his career started going. That's when everything started smooth sailing with their career.
Everything was perfect about them. The entrance, the three of them, it was perfect. That's when Edge started going up. Then it became, which came first, the Brood or Edge and Christian?
It was the Brood.
Okay, I had to make sure. It was the Brood, then Edge and Christian, and then Edge. Edge was already going. Before Edge even knew he was going to have a career going high, it was already happening. Once he went with Edge and Christian, those two tag teams, when they faced off against the Hardys and the Dudleys at WrestleMania, Edge's career already skyrocketed. And then when Edge went solo is when it just went off heights. That's when Edge went on to win the WWE Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, and many other titles. Edge truly was one of those wrestlers that signified the Attitude Era for sure.
Well, I'm wondering if Edge would have still had that same career if the Attitude Era never existed.
I don't think so.
If he would have still been with the Brood,
okay, I feel like depending on how long the Brood would have went, he could have probably still had a career, because like you said, that's where his career really started going up there, is when he joined the Brood. But I feel like without the Brood, even without the Brood and no Attitude Era, Edge's career wouldn't have gone anywhere at all.
Possibly not. But you gotta see. Absolutely. I was gonna get to those.
The Godfather.
Yes, the Godfather with the whole train plus Trish and Lita. Absolutely, the Godfather played a big part in the Attitude Era with the whole train. Have you ever seen that?
I don't know. I probably have.
No, it's pretty much he used to come down the aisle. His music would hit, and he would come down with some ladies with him. That's what
the Godfather, and then he would come. Yeah, I've seen it. Yep,
the Godfather. He'd come down with the ladies. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it was interesting because a lot of people would pretty much sing to the Godfather theme. Like once they hear, come aboard the whole train, that was it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of people loved it.
Right.
And they loved the women. They loved the women when they came down. And that's what you want to see. Let me see. Let's see if we got a video up here. Like I used to do the same thing, and he used to bribe his opponents with his hoes.
Oh my god!
He says, "Since I'm gonna kick your ass, how about if I give you a woman instead?" and, and back then, it was no. See, okay, this is him coming down. See how the fans react. See,
he would come out with a lot of them.
a lot of them, right?
Come out with a lot.
And they would look at him, and the fans would go nuts for it. And that's what the Attitude Era was about. That's what it was. You know, and the fans loved it.
Yeah,
we loved it.
Definitely.
But I don't think that would ever happen if the Attitude Era never existed.
Nah.
Because he was a Kama Mustafa. He was a Papa Shango. Whatever. Any other stuff.
Right.
But the Godfather
was that
fit
man.
that
He
character.
Definitely.
That was his best character. And I'm glad they put him in the Hall of Fame. Because he deserved it due to he made a big contribution to the Attitude Era.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, and then you talk about Trish and Lita. He mentioned Trish and Lita.
Yes.
Before we mention that, wrestling fans, please feel free to share our content all over social media. Bring your friends, your cousins, your family.
Everyone.
Now, bring them in. Let's talk wrestling. Let's talk Attitude Era.
Attitude.
What would happen if it never existed?
Yeah, what would have happened?
So,
What would have happened?
what would have happened? Right on.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Alright.
Hype.
Hi.
All right, Jaden.
Yes.
Who else can you think of in the Attitude Era?
Randy Orton. Randy
Orton pretty much. I wouldn't say Randy Orton was a part of the Attitude Era just yet, because
You think so? Why do you say that?
Because he came into the WWE like what year? 2004. 2003
because
maybe?
didn't he win no, because he won, I think, the World Heavyweight title in 2005. No. Yes, he did. He won. I'm pretty sure he won in 2005.
Yeah, but that's when the Ruthless Aggression Era started. The Attitude Era.
When did the Attitude Era end?
I think it ended in 2002. Let me see. Let's see here. It ended in May 2002. So yes.
Okay.
So I don't think he was. He was part
that's
of that.
really.
Yeah, he wasn't part of that. But I got one that was Mick Foley.
I was either thinking about him or another wrestler.
Freaking Foley. The human wrecking machine. Like this man takes pain like
he takes pain like it's a piece of
no,
cake.
but it hurts. He's admitted it. It hurts a lot, but he takes it. And he's taking it for the fans.
I can't do that.
You know what I mean?
Foley is a G for that because I can't do that. This man's got thrown off a cell. He's gotten hit in the face with a chair.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Many other things.
I got hit last year with a metal chair, a baby chair, in my elbow by this young man over here. And I was in pain for almost 2 weeks. Imagine that man that is fully trained taking those blows like that.
Right. I can't do that at all. That would hurt my body so bad. And it's not even the fact he's been hit with a chair. He's been thrown on thumbtacks. He's been thrown off a cell.
No, the worst has been by pretty much getting thrown off a cage. Like,
oh my god. I can't believe he got thrown off of. It wasn't just a cage. It was a hell in a cell. And it's not like, he was hanging off the side.
I would have been dead.
He got thrown off the top.
I would have been dead.
I would have died.
I'm like, give me my check. I'm out.
And then he went through the cell too. He went through the cell, and you heard Jerry Lawler. Oh, he's dead. Because it looked like he legitimately died. He went off the cell into the announce table. Then he went through the cell and hit his face on a chair.
Oh man!
Then he didn't finish. He didn't quit.
He finished the match
on his 2 feet. He finished.
But I don't think his career would have been like that if Attitude Era wasn't born. And I'm gonna keep saying after he said it because the reason I say that why because he was Cactus Jack in ECW. He was Cactus Jack in WCW, but they weren't doing anything with him.
You know what I also feel like who had to help with that too? Undertaker.
Yes.
The Undertaker had a lot to do with that. Because
Undertaker he helped make his career.
It wasn't a part of the plan when he threw him off the cell, right? That wasn't supposed to happen.
The first one, yes.
The first one,
yes. The choke slam through the cage was not supposed to happen.
Okay, so then that still had a lot to do with it.
And then to top it off, the Undertaker broke his ankle. He had a broken ankle during that match.
They both were hurt because Mick Foley had like a tooth in his face.
They still got through it. And the man, Mick Foley was delusional, but the man did it and he deserved the recognition. He went all out for the fans. He went and he's limping as shit right now. But he doesn't regret it.
He doesn't.
He doesn't regret it. He knows what he did. He enjoys it.
I mean, because he put smiles on people's faces. He gave people, oh my God.
I enjoyed watching it.
I can still watch him. I can still watch all the matches he had.
I could watch his Edge versus Edge and him at WrestleMania 22.
I could watch him and The Rock in that empty arena match. I can watch him and Randy.
Yeah, he was the hardcore champion. He was the hardcore champion.
I can watch anything with Mick Foley.
Oh man, with him, with Raven, he had great rivalries. He was good. He was so good.
Definitely.
Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much.
I did too.
And there's another person that I know made a big contribution to the Attitude Era after Shawn Michaels left. Triple H. The Game. Triple H. At first was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It was okay. But then, that's when he got the Triple H. The moment he became heel, he had China on his side, and then that's when they started to put him up there with Shawn Michaels. But then supposedly, a lot of people thought, oh, he's in Shawn Michaels' shadow and yada yada yada. Shawn Michaels left. That's when the Game took over DX, made it an elite faction. For a long time.
But what people also gotta understand, Triple H had to go through a lot. Especially since he was dating Stephanie McMahon. He had to go through a lot.
He was dating Stephanie McMahon, and he took a lot of heat for the curtain call with Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Triple H. And he went through a lot. He loss after loss, punishment after punishment. All of it. But he stuck through it.
Didn't quit.
He stuck through it like a champ.
They finally gave him the recognition he deserved. And after that, after Triple H became the guy he was, Triple H reached new heights.
Oh man,
Triple H is amazing.
Triple H is like him or hate him because a lot of people say, "Oh, he got into this big. He's gotten big and this and that due to Stephanie McMahon."
See, that's what you people don't understand. He worked.
The man has talent in the ring.
If you immediately
built himself up, and people say, "Oh, he probably knocks some people down on the way when he did it." We don't know.
But what people also fail to understand is that
you gotta want it.
Exactly. And Triple H clearly wanted it because after all the punishment he went through, he never left.
He won over the fans.
Exactly.
He won over the fans big time.
All the time. Definitely.
So that's what I'm saying. You can't get mad at the guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he did his thing in the Attitude Era.
Definitely.
And when he became the Game, that was it.
That was it.
That was his calling.
That was it. Right there.
And we also got Kurt Angle, Kurt Angle was also part of the Attitude Era. Yes, Kurt Angle was definitely a part of the Attitude Era. And Kurt Angle, when he got let go out of his shell, he became this great athlete. He was a pure athlete in the ring. He took on the likes of The Rock, The Undertaker, Stone Cold, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, RVD. The list goes on and on.
Any other people.
But he did some really good match. But he was fierce too.
Kurt Angle was not a guy
tough.
To play with.
That guy was a legit badass. You know what I mean? And the way he would wrestle, the suplex machine, the ankle lock, like it was.
See, look. Oh man, this is the person. Okay, I understand. Everybody. Some people like Suplex City, but the only person I give permission to do a suplex after suplex like that is Kurt Angle, because that's been Kurt Angle's move since forever. The angle slam. You give
permission?
Yes.
Okay, Brock, you hear that? If you hear that, you come knock on my door. Just I have a bat for you, okay? Because I know you'll probably throw me through the wall and get to my son.
You're not coming to me. I'm running. But no, for real.
Listen,
Kurt Angle owned that move.
Listen, Kurt Angle earned that move. He owns that move. The man did great doing that move, and there was a reason they called him the Olympic gold medalist with a broken freaking neck.
He was fighting with a broken neck, though.
So he did the same thing. He was fighting with a neck injury at WrestleMania 19 as well.
I still remember that match.
When Brock Lesnar did that dumb shit of trying to do that shooting star press or whatever it was.
Brock Lesnar caught a concussion when he did that.
he was in La La Land. He didn't know where he was after that. So, but I bet you he won't try that shit again.
Not again.
But
definitely not.
It was something that we look forward to every time we watch the Attitude Era.
The Attitude Era was amazing.
And also, you could say he was in the Attitude Era because it was at 2000. The entrance of Y2J, by far the best debuts ever.
I love that. I love his old entrance.
Like, oh my god, Y2J's debut.
That is my favorite. That's one of my favorite entrances.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was so good the way he did it.
Oh my.
Like, oh my god. Like, you can hear it. And you did it against The Rock.
The Rock.
Against The Rock. Like, out of all people, The Rock. The person who never, ever likes to get interrupted. You know what I mean?
Right. Literally, though.
Like, never likes to get interrupted. And that's what happened. Okay, we got a comment here.
Whoa. I think I already know the rest.
An Attitude Era catchphrase, I lie, I cheat, I steal, wouldn't work now, but Eddie was fire. Of course.
Eddie Guerrero. I was just literally watching Eddie Guerrero a few days ago with his match against Rey Mysterio. When they had that little brotherly fight thing going on, that little rivalry they had, I was just watching that a few days ago. Eddie Guerrero is that guy. Eddie Guerrero is probably one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. Because Eddie Guerrero is truly a legend. Seriously.
Listen, Eddie Guerrero would have been great in the Attitude Era. He would have been amazing. And yeah, he came, I believe he came in the 2000s as well.
That's when he had that long hair going on. That's when Eddie Guerrero, for people that don't know, Eddie Guerrero had long hair.
See, that's the countdown. The best entrance so far I've ever seen. And the crowd goes crazy. You see the countdown.
That countdown is so cool. I don't know why. It's fire. I like it. That entrance is so
wow. Cool. Alvin Cloud says my favorite Attitude Era wrestler was Steve Blackman. Wow. Surprisingly. Interesting pick. So you hear the fans. This is what it was all about. That the fans were able to mark out. You were able to mark out.
Wow.
They went crazy. The fans went crazy. And by the way, we don't own rights to these songs and everything.
Right. Chris Jericho had a lot of hair.
Chris Jericho had a lot of hair, but he was amazing. The entrance was, he went from a cruiserweight in WCW to a main event person right away.
He won the world.
Right away. No cruiserweight. They put him right away against the top of the food chain against The Rock.
That proves something. But
WCW didn't think like that.
You know what I also feel like?
So I don't understand how the hell they won the damn wars, like shit like that. Because of the NWO?
I also feel the Attitude Era was the best because of the promos. I feel like with the promos, wrestlers weren't scripted when they talked. Wrestlers could say what they wanted to say to make the promo interesting.
Well, Stone Cold used to say most of his own promos.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like most of the wrestlers, because that was a lot of what wrestlers did. Most of the wrestlers made their own promos. Yeah. And that's what I feel like is what made it so interesting. That they didn't have to memorize something that they were supposed to say. They could actually say what they wanted to say. And they could actually go based off of what they needed to. That's what I liked most.
You want to know who else had a big influence to me on the career of Stone Cold? The late, great Owen Hart.
Owen Hart, okay.
And the reason I'm going to say that is because when Owen Hart tombstone Stone Cold on his neck, that's what made Stone Cold even more fierce, and the fans liking him more because they wanted more of him, but they couldn't because he was injured. And that's when Owen Hart brought the best out of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Definitely, he definitely brought the best out of Stone Cold, and that's what made Owen Hart and Stone Cold so crazy. When Stone Cold did that, that was insane. I couldn't believe that.
Well,
it just proves how the kind of guy Stone Cold was.
No, Stone Cold was a legend. Stone Cold was a legend in this. Like, oh my God! Like, when you talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's like,
wow. Right.
What next?
What next? What do you do from there?
But there's so many in the Attitude Era. There was the Hardcore Division. There was the Brood, the Ministry of Darkness, DX, Bret Hart, the Hart Foundation.
Oh
How can you forget that?
Forget the Hart Foundation.
That faction in that time was so elite. Like with the late great Brian Pillman, British Bulldog, Owen Hart, Bret Hart. Like, oh my God, Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
The Dudley Boys.
Well, the Dudley Boys came more towards. Well, I'm not sure when they came in. I totally forgot when they came in.
Wasn't the tables, ladders, and chairs match that they had a part of the?
When you think of Austin, you think of the King of the Ring promo, of course, because that's what led to the birth of Austin 316, and that's when you saw signs everywhere. The next night on Monday Night Raw, Austin 316.
Oh my God, that catchphrase is so amazing. That there could never be another Stone Cold.
Never.
There can never. You can never mimic Stone Cold.
Never. There will never be another Stone Cold.
You can never
absolutely
mimic
not.
Stone Cold.
And Stone Cold to this day will be the man that saved WWE. Well, wrestling fans, that time is up. We appreciate you watching. Please feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And also...
Oh, Dudley's came in. So they were part of the Attitude Era.
Okay. That's where the tables, ladders, and chairs came in.
That's where, yeah.
And also, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Evolution of Pro Wrestling.
Yep.
Next week's topic, who knows? What is it going to be? We're going to keep you in suspense this time because we got some things cooking up. Something stirring the pot. So please feel free to follow us everywhere, fans, and thank you again for watching. From myself, Lewis, the Encyclopedia of Pro Wrestling,
and Jay, the Whiz Kid of Pro Wrestling,
and for my lovely wife and producer, my Yesenia, thank you, fans, for watching. Tune in next week. Take care, fans.